flight controllers here in the Payload Operations Integration Center are busy at work this morning. They've been working with Karen Nyberg from the Kibo module discussing Melfi operations. That's the station's minus 80-degree freezer that's used to store biological samples, among other things. In the meantime, Chris Cassidy has been having a little fun, all in the name of science. He's been working with a new investigation called Surface Telerobotics. That's where he actually gets to control a robot on the ground from the space station. I spoke with the payload developer about these operations.
What we're looking at is ways for humans to control robots in different situations, primarily to aid in exploration. So the other projects within human exploration telerobotics are Robonaut 2, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard about, and smartphone spheres, which is we've taken a smartphone and put it on the side of the spheres facility, which also very many people are familiar with, to basically make it a robot, a free-flying robot. They give it a little more computational power and some additional sensors that aren't already on board the spheres. Surface Telerobotics is what we're trying to do is have crew on board space station control a robot on the surface of Earth. And this is a simulation of different types of missions that you could run, say in orbiting vehicle around Mars, controlling a robot on the surface of Mars, or a crew vehicle at the lunar Earth Lagrange point on the far side of the moon, controlling a robot on the far side of the moon, which we cannot communicate without orbital assets in place because we have no line of sight. So what we're testing is, what do we need technology-wise in order to do this sort of mission? Because we've never done anything like it before. And so we need to understand comm issues, usability issues, situational awareness. So we're looking at our user interfaces. Do they give the crew the information that they need in order to understand what the robot's doing, what's its status, and then can they control it?
So what kind of hardware are we talking about? Are we talking about a little robot down here on Earth?
Yes, we are. We're talking about a MER-sized robot. So those are the last two rovers that were on Mars. The newer robot, Curiosity, is quite a bit larger. So it's about a meter by a meter by a meter robot called K10 that we have at Ames Research Center. We've been using for about 5 or 6 years now. So we're very experienced using it. So we didn't want to have too many new variables in this experiment. We're running off of our experiences doing analog missions where we've gone out to the Arctic and California, deserts in California and Arizona, where we've tested the robot and done simulated science missions. So we want to keep sort of the robotic side of this test as familiar as possible, and really look more at sort of the human factor side, look at the crew interaction with the robot. That's really where our science is in this case. Robots are fun, I mean, for everybody, and astronauts have as much fun with it as anybody else. So they're neat because you can they move around, they do things, and you can kind of relate to them.
How exciting is it for you to see a project come to fruition like this?
It's great. I haven't had much experience on the human spaceflight side of NASA's house. We've mostly worked.
You play with robots.
I play with robots, exactly. So we've worked sort of with the Mars program in the past. We have looked at robots to aid human exploration, but we haven't actually flown anything with human spaceflight before. So even though our project's not flying any hardware, we're only flying software because we only need to send the GUI up to the station for the crew to control the hardware on the ground. There's still a lot of things you have to do to make sure that everything's safe, surprisingly, even with software. For me, it's a very new experience, and it's really exciting because, yeah, I can say I've flown something now, so I really like it. It's fun.
And for more information on Surface Telerobotics and other investigations, go to nasa.gov/station.